Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is On Screen, Off Screen. We're going to talk about some really, really cool stuff, I'm sure. I don't know what's actually coming up. Um, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to take this one. Skyrim. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
I mentioned that I had never played modded Skyrim before, and if we had been recording the day that we were supposed to be recording, I would tell you I was wrong completely.
Okay.
I was wrong. That's what I would have said the other day.
But that
As
changed?
of today, I am right about mods.
What are you talking about? How could it have
Yeah,
changed in a day? Mods are awesome.
they're not. I mean, they are. They're also not.
Okay. Tell me what in the crap you're talking about.
So I downloaded the Norvalis. I don't know how to say it. Uh, Mod pack,
Yeah.
3,000 some odd mods. Um, really cool. Improves the visuals. Gameplay mechanics are very cool. Uh, too steep of a difficulty curve, if you ask me. That's kind of fine. It wasn't the end of the world. Uh, I did use some cheat codes just because that's how I play Skyrim at this point. I'm no longer a noob. I don't want to go grind for gold or dragon bone. I'm just gonna give myself that when I need it. Um, I was very, very intrigued about the new quest that they've put into the game. Like I was just barely getting into it, and this robot guy comes to me and starts talking to me, and then his head explodes, and he's suddenly in my mind, and I have to go on this quest. And I was like, "This is so cool! I really love that they've added all of this stuff."
Okay.
But what changed in the last 24 hours?
Yeah.
The game stopped working completely.
Oh, that's too bad. Cause it's cool.
It is cool. Originally, I had my question. Uh, could Elder Scrolls 6 be made faster, better, and cheaper by modders than developers? I had seen that on TikTok and I was very curious to ask you your perspective because free by all it looks like, yeah, modders have donated their time to create all of these mods and they made Skyrim way better. Except
Amazing.
they didn't, because I can't keep playing my game because it crashes.
I'm sorry it crashes on you, man. That is unfortunately a part of the whole modding thing is there are crashes. I'm surprised that you're getting crashes with that pack though, because they do a pretty good job of making sure everything works together and is debugged.
Well, that's my biggest frustration with it. Is it's not like, hey, I'm trying this out.
You're not trying to put a bunch of mods
I'm
together.
not
You're
trying to stick it together, and
just
I'm
getting a
not
mod
playing
pack.
for like an hour, losing all my progress. No, I put like 20 hours, 25 hours, and have now lost my progress.
That
I
sucks.
have no reason to continue playing because every time I get to this point, it completely
It
breaks.
completely rises. Hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, I'm just not gonna play this game anymore, and that sucks.
That does suck. I'm sorry that happened to you, man. I've had some crashes. Literally, there's I don't even think it's available anymore. One of my favorite horror games ever is a mod for Skyrim where you go and you search this old haunted mansion and you do a mystery to solve where all these bodies came from, why everyone is dead, and then where the monster went that killed all these bodies. It's a very, very cool story. Very, very cool mod. But for a long time, I couldn't play that one because it would crash on me. And it crashed on me right before this epic moment. And I was like, you son of a bitch. But at the same time, I've had some really cool modding experiences, and for me, the trade offs have been worth it. But I can also understand the frustrations of the crashes not being worth it.
Well, they're
I'm
not
sorry that
worth
yours
it when you
crashes. What
can't
happened?
really enjoy the mods.
Yeah, you
I
got
have a
25 hours of joy,
great PC, but I haven't finished anything.
but you got 25
That
hours of joy.
that quest that I was really excited about, I
Yeah,
put on pause because this is Skyrim, and let's be honest, I got distracted by the Dark Brotherhood
yeah,
quest line because it's freaking awesome. And
it's freaking
apparently,
awesome.
there's supposed to be like 20 more quests after you do the Emperor one, and
Some
I
of the
was super
mods
excited
add
for
to
that.
it and make it way better, like way better.
And I
I don't
was
know if it's
so
got that
excited.
tech.
Boom, really excited for it. Got to it, started talking to the three people because I forgot which one I like to kill. Crash. Finally got through it. Went on the next mission. Came back.
Crash,
Crash. 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 Tried to move on to something else. Went somewhere else. Crash. 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 Now the game, literally the game, anywhere will just
crashes.
crash. So I have the choice of trying to go back in time in my save and start over, and hopefully it doesn't crash this time, which is a stupid thing to have to deal with in a game that's 20 years old. It's not quite 20, I don't think, but it just sucks, right? And it sucks that I was so excited about it too, and that it was
Yeah,
going so well for so long. And I
20
knew
hours is a good
going
amount of time.
in that you can have problems with mods. I was just hoping that, like, oh, maybe rebooting the game and like clearing things out a little bit will make you be able to keep playing for a little while longer. But like Resident Evil, not Resident Evil, uh, what is that horror game called? Space something.
Dead Space.
Dead Space. Yep, Dead Space. It had a problem with the remake on PC where you could get to this point. It's like a third of the way through the game, and then the game doesn't work after that.
You told me that, and I'm so sad about that. 'Cause Dead Space is literally one of my favorite games of all time.
I'm sure
And
it's fixed now, but like you're not
oh,
gonna play that game, right?
not if it, not with the crash. No,
No,
that's a
no,
fair
it's okay.
point.
And
That's a
that's
fair
how I
point.
feel about this Skyrim mod stuff. Is it's like I got like a third of the way through some really cool new stuff,
And then crash.
and then crash. And now it feels like it's just going to crash as soon as I get 25 hours in. So I can start over and just do one quest for 25 hours and then that's going to crash. Or I can just move on to something else. And unfortunately, I'm at the point where I'm just going to move on to something else.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I I can't complain to you. I can't argue with you. You tried the modding, and I'm happy you tried the modding, and I'm sorry that it collapsed because I've had so much fun with Skyrim mods throughout my life. I've played a lot of Skyrim mods throughout my life.
A lot of people have. And like, I kind of get the enjoyment of it. So, my general opinion about mods is they're fun for about 2 hours
Okay.
and then you just get sick of them. So, like, before I tried this, I did try a mod where they added the My Little Ponies as mounts. And I added a mod that added a dwarven tank. And I added a mod that added a flying battleship. And I was like, "Yeah, it's so fun to like mess around for a couple of hours, and then I get bored of it, and I go, oh, okay, that was fun."
I like the mods that are more like lifestyle and then little added quests. Like there's a mod that makes it so you have bandits that will come and attack you, and the bandits will have different levels. That's an interesting mod. There's one where you can come over mountaintops and you'll see whole armies that are fighting in the middle of a field, and like be a dragon that comes to try to prey on the weak links inside of the army, inside of the battle. Very cool. There's a continuous dungeon one that's really cool. There's one that's actually awesome where they changed the entire map to Star Wars, and the Magic Academy is now a Jedi Academy, the tower. And the Dark Brotherhood is a group of assassins that you can add to, and they include the Force and everything. It's very cool, very well done. There's one
I
where
would
there's
have fun
a
with that for a couple of hours.
that I'm surprised at how good that one was. Like it's actually an upper echelon Star Wars game. Like that's how good of a job they did. Um, they changed all the stories to incorporate with the theme. Anyway, there's another one where there's a whole entire island that you can go and visit, and it has a storyline of its own. It's very good. The guys worked on it for like 6 years. Um, there's just a lot of good stuff out there, and it's too bad there are crashing problems because there are. But I don't know. I've just had so many good
Even if there
experiences.
wasn't crashing problems, for every good mod, there's 30 bad ones and 5 extremely inappropriate ones.
That is very true. I actually think that there's more inappropriate ones than that. I think that is a
I was trying to be
smaller
generous.
statistic. It's a generous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you have the cool mod where what's her name? The werewolf girl. Yeah, I can't she's an NPC that you can take with you. But anyway, you can use your mic and it's connected to Chat GPT, and literally she is run by an AI and will answer your questions and stuff as you have her as a companion. Super cool. Like they've done a lot of cool stuff with mods and
They have,
a lot of great
but
stories, but it's hard when if it collapses on you.
but it, here's where I'm at. The amount of fun I had playing Skyrim, traditional
Yeah,
Skyrim, before they added mod support
yeah,
is greater than the amount of fun I've had with mods.
interesting. I don't
Significantly.
like the original UI. I've never liked the original UI for Skyrim. So they did a UI update mod, and I
Yeah,
literally
I
will not.
hate it.
I won't play it without the UI updated mod. I think it's so much better. I think it is massively, massively better.
I hate it.
I don't know how you could hate it because it is
It's
just better.
garbage. It sucks. It's, my problem with it is completely superficial and small. I also
Okay.
didn't hate the original UI. I thought it was perfectly fine. Granted, I'm coming from playing it on PlayStation 3. What next hot take I think is the greatest console of all time. Uh
PlayStation 3, huh?
PlayStation 3. Uh
Interesting.
I didn't have I so I was playing it on console anyway. UI was built for controllers. I didn't have any problem with it. I've downloaded the mod pack which comes with the UI system, and
Hmm?
it's completely nonsensical. It
What are you
bothers
talking
the heck
about?
out of me.
It's probably just
There's
because you're
no
used to the other way of doing
organization
it.
to it
It
at
is
all. Like,
absolutely organized. What are you
specifically
talking
when you're
about?
trying to go through, like, your inventory and stuff, it's
Yeah,
like, no sense. It
it's
makes
way
no sense.
better.
It's
It's
not
way
organized
better.
by type of item, it's not organized by level of item, it's not organized by anything but
You have
alphabetical.
you have filters there. You can organize it however the freak you want.
You can't search and you can't, like, separate your armor pieces. You can't say, I just want to look at helmets like you should be able to. You get to look at all of your elements and you have to look at the little logo to decide which one you want, which, you know, scroll down. Okay, how's that headpiece? How does that compare? Okay. It's just irritating me. It just irritated me.
You just don't
That's
like it.
all it did. I was like, why do they not allow you to filter? Why can't you at least go, let me look at just my headpieces? Let me look at just my torso pieces. Why is it just like armor, weapons? And I know that original Skyrim is also that way, but original Skyrim also isn't so convoluted and like it is way easier to just look at the different ones rather than you have to scroll through 20 different it, I really didn't like it. And the skill tree that they added bothered the heck out of me. I really hated it.
I didn't
Like,
play the one you did enough to really say anything about that either way. Most of the time I left the skill progression the same in the games that I've played.
well, they basically made it so much better because all the skills, like each tree now has like 50 more options,
Hmm,
and other than that, there's no real big differences.
okay.
Except you can't navigate it. You basically have to click on the screen and hope it's going to understand that that's what you're clicking on. And if you try and use the like console commands, like the controller commands where you like
Mhm.
just click forward to kind of like zoom into this level, it will say lock picking at the bottom of mine. It will be in the shape of an anvil, and I will press forward and it will show light armor. And can I press to the right to go to the next skill tree of heavy armor? No, you cannot.
Weird. That's
It
weird.
completely broke that functionality. So basically, I was just like, okay, I have upgrades. Let's hope that, gosh darn it, I can get to the one I want to. Like,
That's
if
funny.
bothered. But like, honestly, the UI, it was not that big of a difference. Like, I'm talking crap on it. I understand the old one is not any better, but that's where my stance honestly is it's no better. And because the old one worked, I would prefer the old one. The new one doesn't work. Um, I understand why people might like it better.
I can
Truly,
see
I
it's
do.
better.
It's way more mouse friendly for sure. But
Absolutely.
beyond that, it's not better in any other way.
And I've never played Skyrim on a controller ever.
I've pretty much exclusively played on controller. Like, I bought the original Skyrim on my PlayStation 3, and then I bought Skyrim Legendary Edition on my PlayStation 3, and then I bought the new version of the Legendary Edition that came with the other things on my PlayStation 3. And then I bought the special edition on my PC. Like, years later after that. Like, most of my Skyrim has been on console.
Okay. Most of mine was on PC. I played it on PC when it came out. Played it for a little while. Actually lost interest, even though everyone else was super into it. Then I downloaded the new UI with a mod, and that actually started my modding journey. That is what started me modding. Um, and then I was like, "Oh, I can play this game." And then I played it and had a ton of fun.
I'm calling BS.
What are you talking about?
What's your favorite Elder Scrolls game?
Um, um, Probably Morrowind.
Okay. A worse UI system than Skyrim.
Oh, it's unplayable
Oh,
now. It's
worse
garbage.
mechanical Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrible. It is
Yep.
terrible. Legitimately, it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Glad we agree.
Yeah, Morrowind is. It's got a great story. There's a lot of great aspects to it, but it is unplayable now. It is one that actually should get a reboot because it's unplayable.
A lot of those old games really truly are. Like, Assassin's Creed 1 is unplayable. I have no idea why Ubisoft is like, "Hey, you know that Black Flag game? Let's remake that."
I don't either.
Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 are literally most people's favorite ones, but they're unplayable because their mechanics are garbage,
Just
particularly the first one. Just
remake
remake
them.
those ones.
Yep, absolutely.
Just re-
100%. Remake Morrowind, remake Oblivion. Oblivion is playable, but it's rough.
No, it's not. It's not playable. Listeners, if you have not tried Oblivion, it is not playable.
I it's been a long time since I played it, but I found it playable last time I tried it. It was a
I
couple
did
years ago.
not find it playable at all.
Okay, I
I
guess
could not actually get out of the opening sequence in the jail. That's how unplayable that garbage was to me.
well, then Oblivion needs a remake also. Like now, you have two games that are like all-star games. Just remake those. Make some money. Remade Skyrim like 47,000 times. Remake those old ones once. I don't even know what the first one is called. I have no idea.
It's Elder Scrolls.
Is it just Elder Scrolls?
Elder Scrolls 1, Elder Scrolls 2, Morrowind, Oblivion,
I thought there were different names to them.
Skyrim. There might be, but I'm pretty sure it's just Elder Scrolls 1 and 2.
Anyway, start remaking those. Make some money. Pull more money out of the hat that you keep pulling from.
To be fair,
Over
I
and
don't
over and over
blame
again.
them because I honestly think it'd be a hard sell for them to be like, "Hey, buy Elder Scrolls 1."
I don't
I
think
think you'd
so.
satisfy I think you'd get the cult followers of that game, plus a few people who really loved Skyrim, and most people would just be like, "Just give us Elder Scrolls 6 already."
I mean, I would do this actually after Elder Scrolls 6 because everybody just wants that. But if you did it after Elder Scrolls 6 and just started releasing, I think people will like it. I actually think it'd be really cool if they did kind of what modders are doing, and it's all supposed to be part of the same world. If they just remade everything into one massive game, I think that'd be cool.
Are you gonna pay for 5 games worth?
Um, for the quality of these games, I might.
So you would pay, let's call it $250 for that one game.
What I was thinking is they'd bring it out in pieces. So you have Daggerfall is actually what the second one is called. Um, you have your Elder Scrolls 6, and then you have your Morrowind expansion, you have your Daggerfall expansion, you have your Skyrim expansion. I think people would totally pay that.
I think they would too, but I think that's a scummy thing to do.
I kind of do too, but that is what I expect them to do. And honestly, it's the kind of scummy thing that I would find myself enjoying a lot, even though it's kind of scummy. But I would enjoy it. And
Okay.
being able to play Morrowind in 2020, let's be real, Skyrim the next one is going to come out in like 2029. In 2029 graphics would be awesome.
True, but here's what I would do. Remaster all of the games. Don't do it in DLCs. Make them all $40 and do them in Unreal Engine.
That'd be sweet. But I would like the whole I just think it'd be special to have all of these games put together in one landmass. I think that's just a cool idea. I just think it's cool.
It is cool, but there's a lot of practical issues with it,
There
especially when you
is.
talk about stories and how these regions interact with each other in terms of lore and timelines and all that kind of stuff. I would personally rather just like, hey, you gave me Daggerfall and Unreal Engine. I'm glad you're finally giving up your garbage engine, Bethesda. It's terrible.
It is terrible. They
Thank you
needed
for
to
joining the
abandon a
Unreal.
decade ago.
Yeah. Thank you for enjoy like switching over to Unreal. Thank you for giving me this content. That's great. $40. Sure. Honestly, if they said, here's Elder Scrolls 6, $70, and then 2 years later they're like, and Skyrim expansion, $50, I would probably be like, I already have Skyrim. And they said, and Oblivion expansion, $40. I'd be like, I don't like Oblivion because it's unplayable garbage, and I know you've probably fixed that. Maybe if this goes on sale for like $10, I'd give it a try.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if they completely remastered Oblivion, like it's very playable. You hear from people online, reviewers, whoever it is, from me, and I'm like, this is totally playable. This is awesome. Oblivion is awesome. The Oblivion gates are in Skyrim and are in whatever the new one's called, and they
Tamriel.
interweave together. That'd be
I think
sick.
I would be less into it than if they were just their individual games.
Okay.
Yeah. If it was just not that one whole piece and they were like, "Hey, here's Oblivion remastered." I'd be like, "Oh, $40 and I finally get to play this game because it's not mechanical garbage." I'm interested. Maybe I pay the $40, maybe I don't. I don't know. But if I already paid the $70 for Elder Scrolls 6 and they're just like, "Hey, it's this game, but now they're connected." I'd be like, "I bet there's a 3-hour loading screen between going between those two worlds. Be faster for me to get out of the game and get into the new one."
That's funny. Uh,
That was my next complaint about the Skyrim thing. How have they not
yeah,
fixed their loading screen times? It was terrible. End of rant.
that's that's fair. That's a fair point. And maybe it's just I don't know. I don't know. At this point, all that stuff should be taken care of. It just should.
Yep.
No excuses.
I
It just
chose
should.
I even chose to add the mod pack that lets you enter and exit cities without loading screens. And I bet 2 of my 20 hours was still just looking at a loading screen.
Really?
Yeah. In and
That's
out of the
so
game
bad.
every time it crashed, in and out of any building every time it crashed. Uh, like Breeze Home, the main home in Winterhold that everybody buys, would crash when I tried to get into it
Oh,
after the loading screen.
that's terrible. That's
Yeah.
frustrating. That's terrible.
Yep. But it shouldn't be a 5-minute loading screen on this 10-year-old game. I
No.
have 6 gig, or I have 64 gigs of DDR5.
Yeah, it should load like that.
It should be so fast.
It should be pretty much seamless.
When the rest of the game is running at 150 FPS, I should not have a random crash like that. And your loading screen should not take that long.
No, it shouldn't. Not at
Yeah.
all. So, take bets right now. When do you think Elder Scrolls 6 will actually come out? For real.
2026.
You really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they can afford to keep pushing it. I think they're in this point where the longer they keep pushing it out, like it should have come out in 2025, and the longer they keep pushing it, the less interest that they're going to have in it, and the more of a failure it's going to be financially for them.
Okay. Do you think it's a situation where they really can't have a major success because people are going to nitpick it no matter what comes out?
Yes, but the longer they wait, the worse it's going to be.
Okay.
And it would be one thing, like I am totally fine if a developer's like, "Hey, I really want to make sure that this project is good. I'm going to take more time on it."
Mhm.
But that doesn't feel like what they're doing. It feels like they're stalling.
It feels like they're milking it. I felt like they were milking it for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would continue milking it if the space one had done better?
Yeah. If Starfield had been
Starfield.
done better, they would be like, "Oh, well, we're going to put part of our team on DLCs for that." That's what we're going to do. But because that one sucks, they're not doing that.
Which even people who
So
like the game don't like the DLC. I don't. I haven't heard anyone who likes the DLC for that
but it
game.
doesn't matter, right? Like there's some good DLC stuff with Skyrim. There's some not so good stuff with DLC with Skyrim. The problem is they didn't have the player base to have enough people buy the DLC in the first place.
Yeah.
Good or not good, they didn't have enough buy into it. So rather than putting part of their team on developing more content, they said, "Well, the only thing we really have to work on right now is Elder Scrolls 6." So that's what you're going to do.
Okay. Okay.
And I could be dead
I.
wrong because I weirdly have the opposite opinion about Fable. That one has also been a long time coming,
It has been. And what do you
but
mean
I'm
opposite
excited
opinion?
about that. I'm
Oh,
excited
I
about
see.
it.
I
I
see.
think they're going to kill it. I think they're going to do a great job with it.
I haven't seen enough of the game to actually say. I hope they kill it, but I don't know. I don't know.
They've given me the impression that they're taking the time to do it right and to listen to fans. They
What
have
game?
proven that they listen to fans.
Okay, tell me more because I don't know this.
So with their big launch trailer, or big gameplay trailer, what do they call that?
Uh,
State of play,
yeah,
something. I don't know. Where they show in-game actual play. There's a bartender that looked rather mannish for a female person. And the right side of the aisle was like, "Hey, get your politics out of this game.
stupid
It
woke
doesn't even
stuff.
belong. What are you being woke?" And the left side was like, "Hooray! Look how woke you are. That's so amazing." And basically, they doubled down and they were like, "This is just a character design by taking the main character that they were playing as and making it a very female-esque male, so the exact opposite thing, and basically made it a joke between the two characters in some dialogue."
Hmm,
So they basically
clever.
were like, "You're both wrong. This was just a character design choice. Sorry you didn't like it or did like it." And I was like, "Hey, way to go." Right? Like you took that
Nice.
feedback and you immediately put out a new like trailer for the game just to tell both peoples to suck it. And
Just
it's like
reacted. That's cool.
very on brand for like the type of game that Fable traditionally is, the type of humor that it like. It's cool.
That's cool.
I'm a fan. I like it.
Too. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Well, let's get to my next topic. The second half of season 2 of This Is Us. The writing in this show is fantastic. It's just good. Um, the I actually thought it was interesting. The dad dies like on Super Bowl day, and I watched the episode on Super Bowl day, which was kind of cool. Just a little side thing, but you know for the entire show that the dad is going to die the whole entire time, and I didn't cry, but it made me emotional. Like it actually still got me, even though I know he was going to die. Um, I didn't expect the whole heart attack thing. I actually didn't know that that was most of the time what causes people to die from fires is what happened to him. It's very well written. But after he dies, she's getting a candy bar and she goes through this moment of you're lying to me. This isn't the truth. And the acting in her face as she just collapses to the floor and loses everything is fantastic. But then the next episode, she is she's come together and she's figured out I have to tell my kids that their dad is dead. And she drives up to the house where Miguel is at, and Miguel comes out and is like, "Where's Jack? Where's Jack?" And she has this look of anger and like you can just see the will in her spine and the will in her soul that she has to do this thing. She has to take care of this thing. When my brother died, I felt what she looked like. And I've never it's very very rare for me to go and see a actor who displays an emotion like that so vividly. I actually don't know if I can think of another show that has done that specific part of grief and loss and having to elevate yourself and stand up and commit to your responsibilities even though there's a part of you that's dying in any other show that I've ever seen ever. um it, it was miraculous. One of my favorite moments of acting in anything ever. It's it's just a good show. And then the way it lets you linger inside of that kind of pain, but also paints these vivid memories of good times like you do when you're going through loss. It doesn't say that that's what it's going on, but it just shows you how someone processes these moments when you lose somebody out of nowhere like that. It's bam, gone. It's it's fantastic. And for the life of me, I have no idea how this show drops off hard enough that you gave up it a season from now. Like, this must be the worst drop off in television history because
It's
it's
not.
it's fantastic.
It's not the worst drop off in television history.
I don't know how it would have to drop off majorly for me to give up this show. Like majorly.
Well, keep us informed. Keep us
I
as you
will.
get through season 3. Let us know your
I will.
thoughts as you keep watching. That's all I can say at this point.
Okay, because I'm just flabbergasted. I don't know. Um,
I agree with everything you've said so far, by the way. Everything.
it's so good, and I like all the all the characters have their emotional struggles that don't feel superficial. They don't feel wasted. They actually feel real and tangible. Um, Kate and her wedding, while it's not the most romantically satisfying wedding I've ever seen, it's very it's she's
Most
come
shows screw up the wedding scene.
yeah, I don't even think they
Most shows
screwed this
do.
one up.
This one's
It's fine.
it's average for TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
it's not like a good one, it's not really a bad one.
I like the where it goes to her being a little girl and she's asking if she can marry the dad, and the dad is telling her, "You're going to meet somebody even better than me." And you've got this guy who decides to stand up to his parents and move forward with his life, and you've got Kate who decides to let go of her dad by dumping out the ashes and move forward with this guy. It's very symbolic, and it's just good writing again. You have you have Randall who can't tell this foster girl that he loves her, even though everything he's doing is telling her that he loves her. And she's not seeing the fact that maybe her dad abandoned her, maybe her mom abandoned her, but she has somebody who actually cares about her. And it makes you invested in this character and invested in this relationship. I absolutely love the part where Randall and Beth are trying to deal with the foster daughter, and they're going through worst case scenarios. It's something that I'm actually going to do with Sid, where they're like, and she'll kill us in our sleep, and then he's like, and what if she doesn't kill us in our sleep, she kills us in our real life? And then they just go back and forth on what are the worst possibilities to clear out that anxiety that's going through Randall's head. It's There's just so many things that are so well done in the show. So well done.
I loved the foster kid storyline.
I'm
It
surprised
was
at how much
so
I
good.
like it. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's just I don't know. This season, I don't really have anything. There's things I didn't like about season one. I don't really have anything I don't like about season two, which is surprising. It's just good.
Good.
Anyway,
I'm glad.
I'll keep you
Hmm,
guys updated as I watch season three because so far I'm just highly impressed with the show.
good.
All right,
I'm
what's your next one, man?
glad. Largely, my next one is Apple TV needs more respect.
I agree.
A lot more respect. I watched Shrinking, all of it,
I've I've seen season one. I haven't
in
seen
like
season two.
3 days.
Wow, you liked it that much?
I love this show.
Okay.
This
I
show
didn't.
is on my top 10 list.
Wow. That is surprising. I like this show. I think it's a very good show. I didn't like it that much.
This is an extremely important show to watch.
Okay.
Uh, so freaking good. I don't know what is up with Apple TV and making these positive, clean, appropriate shows that deal with significant mental health issues and showing those correctly and healthfully.
It does do
And I
that.
know that Shrinking is even about therapy, so they're even getting into the nitty-gritty of these things.
They are. They absolutely do.
And holy crap, it is so good at showing those things. And it makes you laugh a lot, and it makes
Funny
you
stuff.
feel emotional a lot, and it deals with important subjects, and it deals with depression and grief and anxiety and panic, and all of those things. Um, the entire time I was thinking through it was made me analyze my own experience in therapy. And I told you this just before we started recording. I had a conversation um, with my brother about about picking a therapist and specific things. And I recently read an article that talks about how therapists who specifically with male patients go on walks or shoot hoops are like 97% more effective with their male clients, male patients.
Very cool.
And this show specifically is talking about how, like, obviously Marshall, I don't know what is Jimmy in this show, uh, is taking that extremely far by like getting his patient into MMA and like
All
forcing his,
everything.
and like just taking it pretty far. But the basic premise of these two types of therapy, where one is very much structured around boundaries and building habits, and the other one is very like physically based, they're both extremely valid ways of doing it. And this show shows both.
Yeah, does a good job. Both.
And it shows that, hey, your therapist is going through stuff too. Like, how easy is it for somebody to think that, like, I'm paying this person to deal with my problems, but like, they have their own problems too. And sometimes they project too. And sometimes they say the wrong things too. Like, they're still human beings. And
Yeah,
I love it. I think the writing is exceptional. I think the characters are phenomenal. Every single character is done extremely well. Every single one of them.
cool. Yeah, I liked it too. I think it's a good show. I think it's a good show. I like it as much as you obviously like it, but I liked it.
What are your like complaints about it? What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Um 7.5 was what my thought was. And I agree with what you're saying. It's just it's weird that I'm so into psychology because I agree. They do a good job with that. Um it was just enjoyable to me. It didn't like wow me like it obviously is wowing you. They do a good job with therapy and showing different types of therapy. They do a good job with Jimmy Marshall's character, and showing him kind of have a mental breakdown and running out of purpose in his life, and how he can find purpose in his life, and how he finds purpose connecting with this other individual in a unique way that's different, and how connecting with that patient, I can't remember his name, in that unique way really helps him where other things really haven't helped him. And they do a good job with all of that. I just left kind of going, that was good, and not going, wow. If does that make sense?
It absolutely does. How? What do you think of the writing?
It's good. It's good writing. I don't like the black girl as much, but that's not because she's a bad written character. I just find her kind of to be completely honest. Just
I think she's an excellent representation of that kind of person because that kind of person absolutely exists. Yes, if
for
I
sure.
met that person in real life, I'd be like, man, you're super obnoxious. You
Yes.
really need to calm down.
Yes.
But that person really exists, and they actually show that kind of person and that kind of therapy as well.
There's
Like,
some
I
truth to
think
that.
the writing and the characters are brilliant. I think the actors all do an extremely good job. And it's a show about all of these serious subjects like
That's
grief
lighthearted.
and loss and
It has
everything,
lighthearted
but
aspect to it.
still makes me laugh constantly.
Yeah. It's got funny parts to it for
Not
sure.
just occasionally, constantly. It's so good. Like, I love Harrison Ford's character. I love Marshall's character.
Harrison
I
Ford's
love the
character grew
daughter.
on me.
Oh, I love him the whole way through. That's
Oh, really?
exactly my kind of character. I've always loved Ron Swanson. I always like the big butch guy, and the fact that they make fun of him for sounding like Batman is so great, right? And his whole dealing with Parkinson's thing, like genuinely, I love this show. Like
That's
it is
awesome, man.
so good. I've got zero complaints about it.
You just love it.
I just love it. And it's a very serious one that also makes me laugh. And then it makes me think of another show that is very serious at times, but also makes me laugh. Oh, what is it? Oh, Ted Lasso. My number two favorite show of all time.
And this one
And
definitely has a similar vibe in ways.
yeah, absolutely. And they brought Roy. Roy's in it.
Yeah,
How can you complain when Roy's in your show?
he's the writer,
No,
right?
he's an actor. He's in season two.
I thought he was the writer of the show. Is he not?
I don't know. He's a
Oh,
writer.
I thought he
Ben
was.
Stiller is the director.
Yeah, I knew
Nope, just
that.
kidding. That's Severance. That's not the show.
Oh,
Um, which is still surprising to me that Ben Stiller is the director of Severance. That is just wild for such a off the wall, wild, goofy actor. But anyway, um,
yeah, but he does
I
good job for that one.
genuinely love Shrinking. I'm so excited for season three. Like
That makes me incredibly happy,
I
man.
I really want you to watch season two. Just
Okay.
because I watched it all in one bunch, I can't really separate the two. And maybe
Yeah,
season two is just season one, but better.
it's possible.
Because like I am really high on the show. I freaking love it. I there's a cliffhanger, and like right now I would say it's like a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh,
It is
wow.
so good. Like I love this show because every single aspect of a show I love. There's no wasted episodes. There's no filler TV. There's no like everything matters. Uh,
It's just good.
Character development is shown and it is brilliant. Personal things that it connects with me, like mental health issues, themes of masculinity and what that really means and what that means to different people. Uh, Healthy behavior and what that means to like. It connects to me with me personally. It makes me laugh. It makes me emotional. It deals with important subjects. It's not a waste of time. Nothing is wasted in this show. Like there's nothing that I'm seeing in it that makes me go, "How could this not be a top 10 show for me?"
Okay.
Because
I love
everything
that,
is
man.
so good.
I
Everything is
love
so
that.
good.
I love that. That's cool. I will. I can probably watch it this week. Sure. I'll at least make a good effort to watch season 2 this week, and I'll let you know.
Okay, I hope
Deal?
so. That'd be really
Okay,
cool.
cool. I'm gonna go through my next two pretty quick. I finished books 11 and 12 of Primal Hunter that I've talked about every week for the last couple of weeks. I love the series. I just love it. Um, there is a part where they go through a dungeon, and I agree a little bit with other fans. I do think it's a little too long, but doesn't matter. Love the show, or I love this book series. Finally caught up, fully caught up with the series now. And then Dungeons and Daddies, the last episode was fantastic. Are you caught up?
No.
They get some alien goop, and he he puts the alien goop on his hands so he can punch harder, but he can't open up his hands. It's the plumber guy. It is very funny. I really like this last episode a lot. Anyway, whenever you catch up, we can talk more about it. It was very funny. Cool. Okay, that was my short little topic. What is your next one?
This one should be pretty quick. Agatha all along. Do you know what this is?
Yeah, I'm really surprised you watched this. Like shocked, to be
I did
completely
not
honest.
watch all of it. I watched 4
Okay.
episodes of it.
Okay.
The first episode is really interesting.
That's surprising to me.
Have you seen it at all?
No, I watched what's the show before about about what's her
Wanda?
name? WandaVision. Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved the first everything but the last two episodes of WandaVision. I thought were great, absolutely great. Last two episodes of WandaVision completely fell off a cliff, and I have no interest in watching Agatha all along or anything to do with that stupid character who's connected to that stupid show. I just don't care.
Okay, cool. Uh, I knew nothing about Agatha all along. I have not seen WandaVision
Okay.
at all. I know almost nothing about it. Uh, I had heard it was good, and that is it. And I turned it on. I didn't
Okay.
even know it was Marvel until the opening credits.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. But let me tell you, so after my first watching the first episode, my initial impression and the thing I wanted to tell you was never has a show had such terrible acting that I was so intrigued by the premise that I was going to keep watching.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
What's the
So
premise of the show?
so the first episode is this sloppy loser detective uh, who crosses boundaries all the time is investigating this corpse that they find in the forest. And they're talking about the evidence of it. There's no footprints, there's no tracks going around. And it's building up to this kind of like, what is this loser detective? Like, this loser detective, her acting is truly, truly awful. Why am I watching this show? And I'm so interested. And it gets to this point where they're like, she's figuring out this like anagram thing. And
Okay.
I was like, okay, but they cut away before they show what the full answer was.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, what's going on? I'm really interested in this, even though the acting sucks. And at the
Okay.
end of the episode, they reveal that like, or they heavily imply that the detective had something to do with the murder. And I was like, okay, I'm super interested. I just watched Juror number 2, right? Jury
Mhm.
member killed somebody, got looped into what if it's like the same thing but with a detective, right? What if a detective is called in to solve their own murder? You know, super interested. Let's go. Episode 2, it's like, but we're witches and the murder thing doesn't matter. And I was like, oh,
No, that's stupid.
stupid. I was wondering what Marvel had anything to do with this show. But I kept watching because it was on. Why not? Whatever. Got through 4 episodes and I was finally like, okay, I'm not watching this anymore. The acting is
Good.
bad, the writing is bad, the characters are bad. There's nothing good about this show except that the premise that they introduced the show with is more interesting than the show you're actually
It's
making.
watching. So that gets me to a kind of a separate question, but you thought Marvel fell off a cliff longer before I did, and I am
Yeah,
fully on the Marvel has fallen off a cliff. It's gone. Goodbye. How much longer do you think they can keep making these shows and movies?
for a long time. For a long time. Because even though you believe Marvel has fallen off a cliff, are you going to watch Moon Knight season 2?
Maybe. I'm not even completely sure that I will watch Moon Knight season 2.
Okay.
I genuinely my apathy towards Marvel is 100%. I don't care.
Okay. Understandable. I'm that way pretty much towards Star Wars, but they're still giving you nuggets, right? They're still giving you something that is interesting.
I mean, they gave me Deadpool and Wolverine. They did give me that. That was pretty good. I did enjoy
They
that
gave you
movie.
3 Spider-Men in the same movie,
They did do that too.
and they recreated the meme. And while
They
like
did
the
that too.
larger plot of that movie kind of sucked, it was still a pretty freaking good movie.
It was very entertaining. That was an entertaining
Yeah.
movie.
But I think I liked having Green Goblin be Green Goblin and freaking like I think that movie's a little underrated. But like they gave you Moon Knight season 1.
They did do that.
They gave you WandaVision. Sounds like you like most of that.
I
Uh,
liked it until the last terrible 2 episodes that were terrible.
okay, but you still liked it, right? You
Yeah,
still
but
like seasons 1 through 8 of How I Met Your Mother.
I think WandaVision was where my apathy really hit. Actually, I've thought about this before, but
Okay.
afterwards, my interest in any Marvel project just kind of went away and really
Okay.
hasn't come back since. I had interest not in the Marvel project, I had interest in Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, which is why I was interested in that show, but not because it was any kind of Marvel project.
Okay.
Like, I
Well,
just
they just gave us the new
don't
Fantastic Four trailer.
care. Don't care. Haven't even watched it. Don't care.
Okay.
I guess I found out today that Captain America 3 is out. I think it's out.
Yep. So
Yeah,
go see it.
don't care. I didn't know it was out
I
until like
wouldn't
today.
care either because
The,
the America movies always suck. And now
you're
you're
wrong
using
on that.
Walmart brand Captain America.
You're wrong on that, but that's okay. The only thing that's interesting about that movie at all is I guess Harrison Ford is in it and he becomes Red Hulk. That's semi interesting,
Nope.
but
Not
that's
not at
about
all.
it. And that's only semi interesting because I read Hulk comics when I was a kid. But not interesting enough to make me want to go and see this movie. And unless somebody close to me was like, that movie was awesome, I probably won't ever see it.
Well, the critic reviews are all bad.
Then it's probably
It's got
terrible.
a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how, because I know they're
I've
losing money. They're not making money, so I can't imagine that they can keep doing this. Yeah, it's got a 5.7 on IMDb. It's not good.
yeah. I don't know. I think I've become more apathetic towards Marvel, but still a little bit more forgiving towards it because I think I'm just not a superhero fan. I think I'm a villain fan, which is why I tend to like DC more. I've said this for a long time.
Interesting.
I think DC does villains better, and I think Marvel does heroes better. But the uh, thing just doesn't connect with me as much as the super villain plot.
And the hero's just as good as their villain. Like, you've got to have a good villain, or the hero kind of falls flat.
Well, if that's true, then all of Marvel sucks. All of their villains pretty much suck.
Yeah, in a lot of
Like,
ways, yeah.
aside from Green Goblin, there's not any like Marvel villains I really love.
I mean, he's just a villain for 1 episode, but I like the corrupt government official guy in Captain America 2. Even though you hate that movie, I do think that's a good
That movie
character.
sucks.
I think you're wrong, but that's okay. Um, who else do I like? That's a good villain. Can a scenario where they're fighting, like the first Iron Man movie, the villain is kind of the scenario that Tony gets into at the beginning, where he's captured and he's in this terrorist cell, and the whole terrorist cell is kind of the villain, but that one's captivating and very interesting, and I would call that actually good. But it's not a distinct villain; it's more of the scenario.
The villain of that is the boss man who puts him there.
There is some truth to that. He's decent. He's just decent. Okay, maybe
They
I'm
don't
wrong because I do like the
they don't
first
have
Iron Man movie.
bad villains. There's no like I don't look at Marvel villains and go, these guys suck, except for like Thanos. Thanos sucks. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 villain sucks.
That
Uh,
sucks. Iron Man 3 villain is stupid.
Most of them are just kind of like insert generic villain, which is
Yeah.
not a bad thing, right? But they put their screen time towards the heroes and telling their stories, and A
That's
lot of
it.
people think it is doing really well for him.
Yeah.
But the only one that I love that for is Spider-Man, and even then, it's like conditional because Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 sucks. So,
Okay.
where's the line? I like Iron Man. I
I
kind
think
of liked Iron Man 3. I
Doc
liked
Ock is
Guardians
pretty
of
awesome.
Galaxy 1. Doc Ock is hit and miss. Uh, I don't know where to put Doc Ock because I liked him in Spider-Man 2.
I
I
love him
liked
in
him
Spider-Man 2.
coming back,
Me
but
too.
every other time I've seen Doc Ock, I haven't really loved it. Like
Okay.
Spider-Man 1 on PS5, main villain, did not care one bit. Was the weakest part of that game,
It was the weakest part of that
and
game.
a super disappointing final battle.
One of the most disappointing final battles.
Yeah. So like, is the villain really good, or did they just do really good with that villain in a specific situation?
I have some other stories where I've liked Doc Ock, like the old '90s animated cartoon. I like Doc Ock in that one. Um,
Okay.
but the game is not great. I don't think he's. I can't. I honestly can't remember. I remember being clouded by how bad that fight is to make me like the character less throughout the entire game. But I don't remember if up to that point if he actually is pretty decent or if he's just bad throughout the entire experience. I don't remember. To be honest, I don't know.
So I think that where they failed is they didn't focus on him,
Okay.
right? Like he's kind of just there, and then they release all the other supervillains, so you go chase down the other ones, and you think that the Chinese guy, I forgot his villain name, is going to be the main villain, but then oh, gotcha, it's actually Doc Ock. Final battle. You go, that sucked.
Yep. It's not good. It's really
That's what
bad.
happened. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, yeah. I think the Green Goblin genuinely is a really good villain.
I think it's a
Uh,
good villain too.
on that, I just can't think of any. Like, there's some that I like. Like I said, I liked Iron Man 1. I liked
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Yeah.
I like, you know, certain things. Uh, but like, great. I don't know other than just the one when it comes to Marvel. But
Interesting.
yeah, I think that that's just made me very much like been on board with this Marvel sucks pre Endgame
Yeah.
because that that was not surprising to me how much that movie sucked at all, and everything since sucking did not surprise me at all. But at the same time, like if they said, "Hey, Moon Knight season 2," I'd be like, "I'm interested." Not like a guaranteed I'm gonna watch it, but if they said Moon Knight season 2, I'd be like, "I'm gonna at least follow it for when it comes out,
Interesting.
see
My
what
apathy
see
is to
what
the point where
happens."
I'm like, if you told me to watch it, I would watch it. But otherwise, I got other things that I would probably watch before it because I just don't care. I just don't care.
That's fair.
I even like
Totally fair.
they're bringing back Daredevil, and it's supposed to be like I even watched the trailer, and the trailer looks pretty good. It looks like the Netflix Daredevil show. It looks like they actually made it gritty, and I love the Netflix Daredevil show. I still have apathy, and it's something that I actually like.
Well,
I,
I think
I don't
what
know.
they're lacking at this point is actual vision. Because what are they coming out with right now? They're coming out with 1950s Fantastic Four,
Yep,
Daredevil,
yep.
Spider Man in their current timeline. Like, what are they doing? Thank you, anybody, for watching, listening, doing the things. We've got one more episode coming out this week. Uh, we'll be talking about some pretty cool stuff. I've got some opinions. Colin's got some opinions. I'm right, for sure. Uh, thanks again.